Welcome to Women on Stage. My name is Gilda Alvarez, and today I'm going to talk to you about Women in Technology Survival Kit. This mountain right here is my journey in the data domain. And as you can see, it's not an easy path. So I figured I can share with you my survival kit and how I was able to reach 2 decades of career in the data domain. I am the CEO and founder of Waveform Data Solutions. I can be reached at any platform, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok. I have a nonprofit organization that helps educate underrepresented minority and data analytics skills. A little bit about the agenda. We're going to talk about an introduction of who I am, the Athena Factor, my journey, the survival kit, this amazing climb, and why am I still here? So I graduated from UCF with a bachelor's in management information system and computer science. I worked for the big firms like IBM's, Deloitte's. I've had a very long career in the database administration. I recently did 5 years in leadership roles as manager and senior manager, and I currently have my own consulting firm. A little bit about me. I come from Ecuador. Very, very humble beginnings. I lived with my grandmother. She raised me in the mountains. I had no limits of what I could do or couldn't do. I could run and climb trees and do everything. Nobody told me what was ladylike or not ladylike. I was a kid that just happened to be very curious. At age 5, I had to move with my mom to the city, which was a very drastic change because I had so much freedom, and now I felt that I was in a prison. But I learned to adapt to it by becoming very obsessive reader. I was reading at the age of 4 or 5. They didn't know what to do with me, so they put me to school. So I started school very early and graduated high school at 16. I came to the United States to start high school at 12, and I didn't know how to speak English. So I had to create pretty much a my own circle of friends that I was able to learn English very fast. It took me 6 months to learn the language. And one of the things that was fascinating to me was the computers. It was, something that I can communicate and I can write, and it was my escape to having to being new to a culture and the language. I then went on to graduate from UCF, and in the journey that I started in the computer science world, I noticed something very peculiar, which at the moment didn't really bother me because I was the only woman in the class. And as I moved into the college, I was the only Latina in the class. And one of the things that I've always seen myself is trying to assert myself and trying to get my place, because many times the guys would want to gather around. We would share computers, and the guys would not let me do anything. So I've seen that from the high school years to the college year, when I actually had a project in one of my classes where we had a lab with the hardware, the software, the network, everything working fine. The teacher would walk in without us and then do something and then leave. And we would have to go back to the room and troubleshoot the problem for 4 hours. One of the first things that I was told to do in my team of 4, which I was the only lady, was go grab us some coffee. And of course, I went and grabbed them coffee. But I noticed that they just didn't, they said they had it all and they could figure it out. And they didn't ask for my participation. I noticed, however, that there was an Ethernet cable unplugged, and I just waited and watched them struggle until the last minute I was able to plug the Ethernet and fix the problem. And what I wanted to prove to them is that, you cannot exclude people in the room that are there because they're also learning and they're growing in the same. But that experience just showed me what my path was going to be. It was going to be a lonely one. So I was ready for it. This is me when I was 4. And something that I always tell people is you have to be you and the world will adjust. It was very special, I would say. Um, didn't fit with many groups of people. I always ended up making my own group because I couldn't fit with popular kids. I couldn't fit with the different cliques that you have in high school. So I created my own clique of nerds that like things that we like, and that's how I'm here still. So what I'm here to do is I want to share with you the Athena Factor. I think these researches are not being said enough in the media or in corporate America because it is so critical that we dive into this. So the Athena Factor is a research that was done by 43 major companies, including Cisco, Johnson & Johnson, all these corporate companies that wanted to understand what was happening to the attrition rate that we were getting for women in tech. This was in 2008. And what it came out is that in all the STEM fields, we had a really high attrition rate in technology. If we could go back and bring 25% of the highly qualified women that had dropped after the 10 years in their career, we could bring almost 220,000 women, highly technical, to do the roles that we have right now that we are unable to fill in tech. So what are the challenges according to the research? I call it the mesh, right? So the challenges, and I'll explain to you what they are pretty much the mysterious career. With technology changing constantly, it is always difficult to know exactly where the path is going to go. It's like having this mountain and having multiple avalanche and the landscape changes, and now you have to go through a different path. With the virtualization of technology, we have to move into different careers. With the cloud computing, we have to move to different careers. Just as we move into the next data and AI or quantum computing or the different areas of technology that is going to definitely change, we're going to see careers that we don't know. And since women don't know where they're going and there's no mentors or guidance, they tend to feel alone and drop out. Extreme work pressure. That is something that I've experienced in my career as a DBA because we are actually the firemen, right? Of disasters. When something happens, that's when you see us shine because we will come and restore everything and put back to normal. So I've had long nights, long weekends. I've worked many, many hours. And as you see people leave the company, you cannot fill those positions because there's no talent. So you end up working a job or two or three. So there's extreme work pressures. Severe isolation. That is critical to this drop of women in tech because the people that are leading are usually handling the leading technologies and they want to keep themselves up to date, and they give women the least important jobs or the monolithic support or the things that are going to expire very soon. So they put them aside and then eventually fall off. And the hostile macho cultures that we have to live. I've had to change myself in order to conform with this macho culture, and to the point where my language changed, my look changed, everything changed. So women that are not willing to conform or adapt to that, they usually don't make it in this industry. So my challenges personally as a woman that has faced this is the discrimination and harassment. As I started my first job in technology, I still remember walking into a room full of subject matter experts. We were dealing with a disaster. And the first thing that I was told is the cleaning room is in the hall on the right. And I, of course, kind of, you know, understood that there's biases in everybody. So I thought, listen, the only cleaning I'll be doing is your database. And so they laughed and they kind of understood who I was. But this is always the case. Um, Sexual harassment, it was a constant to the point that I had to change the way that I look, or I never wore makeup, I wore pants. I had to be completely neutral to try to avoid being the spotlight. Also layoff. I experienced after 8 years with a big firm the first layoff, and it was a very difficult struggle for me because my identity had become the company, and I had to literally go through therapy and to understand what was happening to me. And this happens to many women, and not necessarily just layoffs, but divorce and having to do, create yourself and rebuild yourself from scratch. And so I always recommend that you don't identify into something. You learn what your value is, and you value that instead of your identity that they give you in life, right? Losing someone. I remember, because we are humans and we're not just technical people, and having to perform and do everything after going through losing your mother, or having I had my daughter go through heart surgery, and all these things that eventually take a toll on you. So I feel like learning to walk those paths have helped me build this survival kit. Medical setbacks. These are all the things that we will face, regardless of where in your career, or what you're doing in any field. So these are things that you're going to have to learn to deal with. And so to do that, you begin with what I call the components of the survival kit. One of the most important things about the survival kit is learning to build your support system. This is critical because here is where you, in those moments, it's going to help you and it's going to lift you up. Ask for help. Don't not try to solve everything yourself. You always have to, in a technical, you're always going to have, in a technical environment, if you don't understand something, raise your hand, ask for help. There is no stupid question. The only stupid question is the one that you don't ask. I see in all the mentoring that I do, a lot of male guys, they come to me and they ask so many questions, but no girl asked me questions. So I have to go and dig what level they're in so that I can answer questions that they don't even know that they have to ask. But if you don't know something, ask somebody, find a mentor, somebody that can show you around and where to go and what to do. So it saves you time. I've mentored women after 10 years of going different directions of this mountain. And all they had to say is one question, and I could route them to the right path. So you have to ask questions. Important is to find your tribe. And it's especially in the technology realm, you have to find your specialty, right? Let's say you are in Amazon or Azure, or specifically Power BI, or specifically Tableau. If you need to find that tribe of technology people that can help you grow. The same thing when you are a mother or you're single. You find your tribe or single people so that you can build that support system that helps you along that journey. Whatever journey you go, you always have to find your tribe, you have to find your mentor, and always ask for help. Take control. This is very important because you have absolute no control of the market, the economy, the companies. You don't have control of anybody. Nothing is, you only have control of yourself. So you have to begin with, okay, how do I handle these severe work pressures? How do I handle, you have to learn to say no. You have to, it's a thin line. You have to know how much is too much for you and where you can actually say no to things and be okay. I remember coming to this country and I had to take like all these AP courses and I was like, why am I taking AP courses? I can take honors and still be okay. I'm not trying to climb Mount Everest. I'm trying to get through my education with having a life, being a kid, because I was 12 years old when I started high school. So I had a conversation with my dad. I'm like, I'm not taking AP. I'm gonna get all A's though. Okay, fine, fine. Same thing you negotiate when at work. I can do this weekend, but I cannot do every weekend, right? I can do this for you, but I'm gonna need somebody to help me with something else. So always negotiate your time as it is money, because your time is money, and learn to say no. I cannot do this because whatever. Eventually you're gonna like the no. It's gonna become your best friend. You don't want to go to a party? Say no. It's okay. Support your health. It's very important because without your health, you're nothing. Health is the new wealth, right? Nothing you can do by having so much money and be completely sick and not know, if you're gonna live to enjoy all of that money. So this is something that you're gonna have to continuously put part of your priorities, and it's gonna have to be on the top priorities. Also avoid toxic behavior in people. I don't like drinking. So I try to avoid those groups of people that are constantly drinking. I drink a few drinks, but the toxicity that you have when there's environments that is those levels of drinking are high, not very conducive for growth. So it's a lonely, I'm not gonna lie to you, it's a lonely path, but it keeps you away from things that are uncomfortable or things or people that you just don't feel that you relate to. And then you find those people that are exactly, that share your same values and share the same things, and you build your tribe. The next one is do not be afraid to. Okay, this is something that I see a lot of people in life and professional. They are afraid to take a job. They are afraid to start their own business. They're afraid to do a restore of a database. Things that you would say. I tell you, fail and fail fast so that you can learn. So you know that okay, that I shouldn't do. Whenever you have to restore a database, you have a backup. You can put it back. So I'm not saying go make all the mistakes in the world because everything is okay. No, I'm saying always have your backup, but don't be afraid to do these things. Always have something that supports you when you fall, right? For this guy is this, no, I wouldn't want him to fall in the thick ice or, you have to know when to fall too and learn from those falls. And of course, have your mental attitude of getting back up again. Because so many people, I see that when they're interviewing for a job and they are denied so many times, and it impacts their self-worth, it impacts don't take it personal. Or when you're dating or etc. They feel like people rejecting them for some reason is their fault, and it's not. It's just you're not the right person for that specific role, or you're not the right person for that specifically. And that's okay. When you learn to not take things personal and know your worth, eventually the right opportunity will come. And you have to accept that life is not easy. And we have to, as technology professionals, be learning constantly. If you are not somebody that is a continuous learner, then maybe technology is not the path, because you can learn to do something that is repetitive and be the best at that. For technologist people, we never stop learning. So if you need to accept this conflict when you come into this mountain. The network is a critical role in this survival kit. You have to build a network. Your network is what you see all these people holding right behind each other. There's a line that is linking them so that they, if one falls, the other one is lifted up. Your network is your support line when it comes to your career. And one of the most important things in this survival kit is volunteer. Sometimes I don't see people that can see the through my eyes. I remember when I got laid off and I was kind of lost. I didn't know where to go. I decided to volunteer for an event here in Orlando called Sequel Saturday. An event where started gathering 72 people, and then eventually grew to 700 people. And then it grew in every major city in the world. And over 300,000 people learning the same things we were learning. And what volunteer opened the eyes to me is open a window to great friends, an amazing network of technologists. I got to travel to Seattle where I met all these women in tech, which was amazing to see more women like me. What I didn't see though were Latinas, and I was a little concerned, actually very concerned. That's when I started becoming a speaker. And when I did that, I did it really out of a purpose, to represent, so that other Latinas could see through me my journey and want to come, right? And I don't sugarcoat. My journey was tough, and it's tough to climb this mountain, but the view is amazing. Why not do it? So volunteering is a very critical part of this survival kit. Trust me, nothing that you do, everything you do will come back to you exponentially because you're planting seeds that eventually come back. Most of the turns in my career have been from people that I helped and that I've mentored, that they come back and they give me contracts, find me jobs, all these things that without me having to do absolutely nothing. The projects and the clients come to me, and it was all those years of volunteering that are finally paying off. There's something to be said about a community. And this is the reason why I'm also here helping women on stage, because I feel like doing this is going to highlight the importance of representation in every area in technology. So this is the survival kit. It's throughout my life, I've had to face so many challenges. And I feel like this has helped me and has lifted me up in many situations. So I hope you can gain something from it. Why am I still here? And this is something very important. I have 25 years in this industry and I enjoy what I do. I had the opportunity to work from home during the September 11th. I was the lab rat of work from home because nobody knew what working from home was like. So, and that's why I have other presentations on techniques on working from home. And I think it gave me the opportunity to raise my daughter, and it gave me the opportunity to be financially stable and be a single mother and do so many things. My career is something that I'm very proud and it was something that helped me through this climb. I founded Latinas in Data, which is a nonprofit organization that helps mentor and educate underrepresented minorities. And I use what is called the human learning DevOps. As some of you understand that since technology moves so fast, we have to develop a culture and methodology to be able to release software faster. The same thing happens with learning. Technology is moving so fast and learning all these things is taking too long, and going through the 4-year degree to then start doing something, and then eventually 4 more years, you're finally, it's too much time. So what we do is we learn, we collaborate, we plan, we automate a lot of the process, we implement, we share, we empower, and then we cross-train in a short periods of time on different techniques that helps you learn hands-on everything you need to do in the data analytic world. And then again, the climb. This climb has been amazing to me. I'm not going to say it's easy. I don't chill a leader. I don't go here. Everybody should come to this mountain because it's amazing. No, I say the ones that want to come will come. And they are hungry to learn and they want to climb this mountain. The ones that are not, it's okay. No, not everybody's going to climb this mountain. It's not for everyone. But I'll tell you one thing. climb the mountains not so the world can see you, but that so you can see the world. And I've seen an amazing world. I've met amazing people that I probably would have never met in any other way. I've been able to have conversations and that enlighten me, that make me grow as a human being. I think the biggest thing about being able to see a different area of the world, nerd world. We're all nerds and we like things. I don't think I would have had the chance had I stayed in the shallow mountains and with people that just look like me. I needed to go where everybody else that can actually survive this mountain can go. And of course, pay it forward. And the reason why I'm here, I want people to listen to my journey. And if you have any questions or need any guidance, reach out to me. I'm here to help.